Welcome to this brief introduction to receiving permits. First, we'll look at why we need permits. Then we'll focus on the roles and responsibilities of permit issuers and receivers. Permits are only used for when we are performing high-risk activities and are there to keep you safe at work. If these activities, such as working at height or in a confined space, go wrong, they can really go wrong, resulting in serious injury, death, or harm to the environment. Permits are used to make sure all of the proper controls are in place before the work starts. Permits ask us questions like, are the people performing the work properly trained? Is the proper safety equipment up to date and in place? And is the scope of work detailed and understood? It's important to note that permits do not replace SWIMs, TAs, or crew briefing plans. Instead, they are an addition to these documents. Permits always require two people, a permit issuer and a permit receiver, and you cannot issue permits to yourself. The permit issuer is responsible for going to the area of work and making sure all of the safety controls are in place before work starts. They are also responsible for maintaining all the paperwork and records, and work cannot start until the issuer has explained the boundaries of the permit and the scope of work to be undertaken. The permit receiver must talk through the permit with the issuer, making sure they understand the scope, which is what they are allowed and not allowed to do. During work, you must also consult the permit issuer if the method needs to change, if the scope needs to change, or a new hazard arises that can affect your work. In all these situations, only the permit issuer can approve the work to continue. You must not interfere with or remove any of the safety equipment. You must also brief your teammates about the conditions of the permit, and you must sign the document, keeping it to hand while the work is being done, supervising the work safely under the conditions of the permit until the work has been completed. And remember, permits are only valid for a certain period, so as a receiver, you must not exceed the time period. If you need to keep the permit open for longer, you must consult with the issuer, as a new permit may be required. And finally, you must return the permit to the issuer to close it out once the work is complete. Thank you. Now it's time to answer some questions.